Welcome along and welcome back to Spruce Mountain Farms. And today we are going to be cracking on with the cotton harvest. We've got a very early start here. It has been pointed out to me that cotton being harvested wet is likely to combust, spontaneously combust, in fact. So we're going to try and avoid doing that. We should be okay. I think we've got a fairly good day insofar as weather goes. Did we get that in one? Yes, we did. So, yeah, it's going to be very much a cracking on with cotton day, which is great because this is the first time in this series we've been able to actually do the cotton harvest ourselves. We're looking to get at least 2 more bales off here. If we can do that, then we're doing well, because we should then get 2 more bales off of our other field, and for a total of 5 cotton bales off here this year, which will match last year's number and mean that we've got a fairly good, pretty similar setup between the 2 sets of fields that we have. And should make a nice income from the farm yet again this year. We've reached just about the point where we unloaded that bale, and we're at 12% of 2 rows. So that means that we should get, 4 rows will give us 25%. So 16 rows should give us another full bale out of here, which is looking fairly good. I think, yeah, about halfway through the field off 16 rows should be about right with the width of this harvester. I love how maneuverable this harvester is. It's pretty incredible how easy it is to spin it round and get it onto the next row. It works brilliantly. I really, really love it. I wish I could try out the John Deere ones, but the trouble with John Deere ones is they are twice the price. And the round bales can't be unloaded incomplete like the ones can off this case one. So this just makes much more sense for us on the farm. If one was to come up for sale for half price and we had the money, then I might consider it a little bit more. But for now, this case one is the perfect choice for us on here to keep things going. And for us to slowly build our way towards buying it, because we have this on a lease to buy. So the more we use it, the more we pay it off for us to eventually buy it, which is a pretty nice place to be. The farm is in a position now where we are just solidly earning money all the time. We don't actually have to lease or buy any more equipment really to just keep this making money. And because we have no loan on here, the only really thing we really have outgoing on a regular basis each month is our leased stuff. And all of our leased stuff is basically going towards paying it off and having it here for us when we need it, which is absolutely perfect. What that does mean is that we now have the farm pretty well established, and going forward, much of what we do on here will only be to just continue farming, continue building up money until we've actually managed to buy these pieces of equipment and basically then just keep making money on top. Which is fantastic news. I'm so pleased that we've got to that stage on here. But it does unfortunately mean that we will start wrapping the series up in the near future. And yeah, we're going to end in the beginning of December. Once we've got this cotton harvested up, we'll see how much this is, see how much everything is worth, total up our farm, and see just how well we've done on the American survival between here and Stone Valley. Of course, this series starting on Stone Valley so long ago now. We've managed to build up a sizable farm here, a farm that makes a good, decent amount of money every year, that is able to cover the cost of this big, expensive equipment. and is now thriving and doing so well. So this will be our third to last episode on here. We're gonna, as I said, we're gonna get the cotton done. We will continue to farm the farm as if it was continuing, because I like to do that. But in December, we will tot up what we have. We will find out the best price for things like the cotton, because the cotton doesn't actually sell until February. We'll continue to put the silage into our own BGA to keep that going. And the one thing I really do want to see before we go is whether we have enough digestate to cover our fields. So we're going to get this field mulched as soon as this is harvested. And as soon as it's mulched, we're going to see if we can get digestate on here and do that. And if we have enough digestate to do our farm, because that really is the one thing, or the one question that I haven't answered yet. So I am looking forward to seeing what the results of that is. Speaking of digestate and the BGA, let's have a look. Silage is going through. We have 66,000 litres digestate so far. We do need to top up the silage at some point today if we get the chance. Should be able to do that without too much hassle. We've got, yeah, 71,000 in there. So topping that up back up to 100,000 shouldn't be too difficult. We've got our large bucket on the front of the little 6M. And it'll take about 6 to 7, oh no, 3,000. So it'll take 10 journeys of that through to get that done. Oh, missed my turning. This moves really fast if you don't have the header down. There we go. Back in here, nice and smooth. I love the colors of the trees on this map at this time of year, and it's turned out to be a really lovely sunny day on here, so you can clearly see everything quite nicely. In fact, let's pop out of the cab and take a look at that. It is just absolutely gorgeous on here at this time of year, with the evergreens in their normal green mixed in with the yellows and the origins of the autumn leaves on the other trees. It's just absolutely beautiful. One thing that I haven't got to do on this map, which is really good for, is if you look up at the map itself, we've got all of this off-road area, there's stone, there's wood chip area, there's a whole load of forestry stuff up the top corner of this map, which is just absolutely wonderful. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look at the first look I did at this map, where we explore all of this area. Really interesting area, and so much to do on this map beyond just the farming. I really recommend checking it out. If I'd had more time, I think I would have gone and had a go at there. And if we hadn't been doing the stuff actually on Silver Run Forest, I think it would have been great to have gone and done a bit of forestry on here as well, as a little bit of extra income during the year. However, I really recommend going and checking it out yourself. So yeah, go check out the first look I did, and go check out the actual map itself, and download it from the mod hub. See if there's something that you want to have a go at on here that might be that might suit your playstyle, because to be quite honest, there's a lot this map has to offer. We're coming up to the midpoint of the field. In fact, this is it that we're going over now. We're still 8% shy of a complete bale, which is not a huge problem. I think we're probably going to come through and back again before we need to empty, which shouldn't be too long, I don't think. It is about right for where I was expecting. We were 2-3 rows in when we emptied out at the last end of the last video. So the fact that we are going to go another half a row beyond on the other side, that kind of tells me that we're aiming, or we're heading for a second bale before the end of this field, or at least very close to one, which is great news. I want to get these bales cleared off here as quickly as possible. And what we might do is just set this starting on the next field with a hired worker for a moment, so that it is able to continue and get that going, just so we can clear the bales off this field. Getting close to that bale now, within the last 100 or so liters. I'm going to just bring it slowly to top up that last little bit, because we don't want to start running into the crop. And 991, 994, 997, 20,000 liters. There we go. Oh, it's still not quite full. It's, I think, a tiny little bit more. And there we go. It was like a percentage point shy. So let's unload this bale here. Like so. And brilliant. So that is 2 bales off at this point. And having a quick look at our yield on here, which is back this way, I think. Yeah. You can see the difference in yield that we're getting between last year's corn, which is left in this section here, and this year's cotton. Very much darker. We're getting sort of 75–80% yield on this middle section here with the cotton, whereas it was actually a higher yield. I take it back. The maize, the silage we got on here was a higher yield last year. Let's just have a look. Yeah, so our yield isn't massively different with the outer edges, but this swath through the middle, this area of loamy sand, we actually had a better yield last year with the maize, with the corn, than we are this year. I thought we were doing better this year, but we're not. We're having a slightly lower one. So actually, that's a little bit disappointing. I thought it was doing better. One other downside to that is that we're looking at going through a larger chunk of that loamy sand for the remains of this field. And if the yield overall is lower on that, we're looking at getting less cotton out of this last section of this field. It could affect whether we get another full bale off here or not. I'm suddenly more concerned as to how this field is going to end up. One thing that is about to happen is this is about to tick over into its first hour of use, and we're going to lose a large amount of money from our bank account when that happens. I think this has something like 10,000 per hour of use, 10,500 per hour of use, something like that. That is going to end up halving how much money we have left. One of the beautiful things, though, about doing this ourselves and not having a hired worker is that we're not quite so beholden to how much money we have in our account until we've sold stuff, which is good news. We can, therefore, keep going even if we run out of money, which is a distinct possibility doing this job. We've got this field and another field to go, plus it's probably going to take well into the next game day to do it. So that means we're going to end up a little bit in the red, maybe. I think we might be all right, though, seeing as the silage is giving us a decent hourly income and slowly bumping things up. In fact, there we go. We've dropped down to 9,222. If I pop into the shop quickly and then out again. Yeah, there we go. 10,500 in vehicle leasing costs. I don't know why that doesn't pop up unless you go into the shop and out again. But yeah, 10,500 in vehicle leasing costs. And suddenly we got a lot less money than we had before. But we have got the tools that we need to earn more. I've been giving thought as to why the yield on here is down from the previous year, especially on this sandy loam part. The rest of the field actually seems to be doing a bit better, and the whole field was treated in exactly the same way, so we had the right amount of fertilizer on here. We've got the right pH level on here, and all of that is the same as it was for the corn. And I think it's just down to the variation with the crops. So my thought is, because specifically it seems to be the sandy loam that has the lower yield, I think cotton just likes it less. And so I'd say that's probably something to take into account when you're planting crops. And you might need to do a little bit of trial and error, just trying to work out which crops do better in which soils. And therefore, on a field like this, where you have a large swath of sandy loam, you might not want to do cotton. You might want to do crops that are a little bit hardier and do a little bit better in that, and just to boost your yield a little bit and rotate your crop through that. And then maybe look at a field like one which has a bit more loam, or a soil that this does better with, that to plant the cotton. The interesting thing is, the areas around this sandy loam, the cotton is doing better than the maize. If we have a look at the yield map again, you can see that it's a slightly lower yield that's coming off this area. Yeah, it's down about 5% for the most part in that area around it for the maize, compared to the cotton on it. So actually this field might even itself out between the soil types for these two crops. The maize doing better in the sandier soil in the middle, and the where are we? And the sandy loam. So the loamy sand, not good for the cotton. The sandy loam, better for the cotton, worse for the corn. And yeah, it's just even itself out a little bit. On a side note, look at our environmental scores. 93, 95, 95, and 95. Doing really well on that. Now getting a huge bonus for the farm every time we sell something. We're just over 50% full from having started over there. I am very, very much thinking we're not going to get another full bale out of this. Yeah, we've moved further across the field than we've got left, and we're only half full. I think the yield on this side, with this larger area of sandy loam, or loamy sand, sorry, is not going to produce as much cotton as we have on the previous bit, which is slightly disappointing. I would very much like to have got 3 full bales off here. Although, if we do manage to get most of a bale here, hopefully it won't take much to fill it off our other field. And our other field is, well, it is all silty clay by the looks of things. So I don't know what the yield is going to be like that on that. I don't think it's going to be that great. We'll have to see where we are. We do not have a massively great farm as far as the land goes. Lots of silty clay, lots of sandy loam and loamy sand. And yeah, only 2 bits really that fit the whole loam. We've got a little bit in this top corner here. We've got a little bit around here, and a little bit where we built our BGA. Coming to the end of our final row of cotton here on field 8. I'm quite pleased how it's worked out. I mean, it's an exact number of rows that we needed for the harvest on here. So that has been brilliant. We are going to be lucky to hit 80%. In fact, no, we're not going to hit 80%. We might hit 78%. In fact, there we go. We've got another, yeah, 3/4 of a bale off here. Not bad at all. I'm quite happy with that. It's been a fairly good field. We've not quite got 3 full bales off here, but it's not going to take us too long to finish this bale off. I want to crack on with the headlands on the next field and see if we can get those knocked out pretty quick. I also want to get the bale trailer for these bales and get these cotton bales off this field. That way we can start getting the mulching going. In fact, we might get the mulching going, seeing as that will start on the headlands. And oh no, actually that won't start on the headlands. Do we need fuel in this? No, we're good. But yeah, we want to get the mulching started basically, and then I can get the little 6M. First, we need to get this back down to, or we need to get this down to field 5B and start getting the headlands knocked out on this field. So here we are, bring it in and start it up. Take us in 3, or just, yeah, for a first row. Line it up. And let's get this into 90 degrees in the field. And then we should be able to set the direction. So like that, come into here, set A, and then I think that should set up our lines. Although apparently not. There we go. So that set up our lines and makes it really easy for us to start getting this done. I am going to turn that off though and put a hired worker on here to start knocking this headland out. Meanwhile, I'm going to drop our large bucket off the front of this. And we'll be coming back to this tractor a bit later. And I want to knock or drop the rear weight off as well. So let's lower that down. And this little 6M is great for carting stuff like this. That's interesting. What was that? Oh, the Q, I think, was to refill the DEF tank. Now, this tractor does need some repairs. I'm not going to worry about that too much at the moment. What I do want is my cotton trailer, which is over here. And we'll get these cotton bales cleared off, get the mulcher started on this field, and then that's another jobbed, and we should then be able to get the whole farm nicely set up for what we need to do. We also need to start sorting out this silage. That needs leveling out and running over with our big tractor in order to get that fermenting, so that we can start getting that into the BGA and start selling off the excess, because that's the other thing we've got is that we need to sell off the excess. Quite how we're going to load it this year is the other question. We've spoken about the possibility of getting a wheel loader. We do know that the worst way we could do it is by using the conveyors as we have previously, simply because the conveyors lose so much of our silage. We lost a lot of last year's money because we used those conveyors to load it up. So we need a bucket that can reach, with a piece of equipment that can reach. And I'm very much thinking that the wheel loader, grabbing a wheel loader, is the way to go with that, based on the fact that the only bucket we have at the moment to do that with is on this tractor. And while this little tractor is fantastic, it's not really up to the job of loading up our big trailer that we've got for that. Oh, the other job that we need to do is get rid of this wheat that's in the corner here that is just making things difficult for us. So drop off our first bale of cotton and we'll go and grab the second. Maximum speed on this tractor is 25. We do need to take one of these bales down to the spinnery and start that processing into fabric, because fabric of course makes us a whole load more money, and we do have the spinnery that we can use to get this done. Load up the second cotton bale and get that off this field, and with this off here we can then get the Claus into here and start getting this field mulched. I'm just going to park this here because we'll run this down to the spinnery in a moment. And then start this up. And take this down to the field. Yeah, we've got enough repair set up on here and everything. Yeah, we're looking good. So we'll bring this into this corner. And using the same settings as we had last time, we will set up a course play course for here. Field 8 is just massive. Right, generate me a course. No, not quite the same ones. I want to take this up to a 0 or a 180 and do it that way. There we go. Starting in the top corner up there. So let's go and take this and get this started. And there's no way this tractor is going to finish this job today, but getting it started does mean we'll at least get a little bit of it going. First waypoint, unfold those, and away it goes. And we'll have this mulched in no time. Meanwhile, our cotton harvester is getting very close to being full. I need to be careful though, because I'm doing an end here and we don't really want to have a cotton bale blocking us going up and down the field. So I'm keeping an eye. Hopefully we'll make it to the end of the field and it's not going to give us too much problem. There we go, 100%. And I'm just going to unload this onto the grass behind us here. Hopefully in a position that we can easily get the tractor at it. There we go. And unload that there. Yeah. I'm happy with that. That should fairly easily be picked up by the tractor without too much trouble. Far enough away from that tree was the thing that was worrying me. Close the back up. Right, and then we've just got this headland here to do. And we can then go up the field, get the far ends done, and then start coming back down here. It's a bit fiddly and not great for us, but it should work fine. And in fact, we're just a little bit out on the width, which is fine. Does mean that this field just misses out on being exact width for this harvester. The sun is now setting here on Spruce Mountain Farms, and yeah, we've managed to get the headlands out, which makes me very happy. We're making good progress. It is a little bit worrying. The yield is notably lower on here than it has been for the previous crop for the maize. The maize just seems to be such a hardier crop on these fields. They handle these worse soil types so much better than the cotton does. That's not to say the cotton isn't producing a good amount. We are already up to a 5th full on the harvester. I don't think we're going to get 2 full bales off this field, unfortunately, though. As nice as that would have been. We will be continuing on it next game day and getting the rest of our cotton out and starting to wrap things up here on Spruce Mountain Farms a little bit. Want to test out the digestate next time, so if we can, we might see if we can get a hired worker to do the cotton. As nice as it has been to be doing this ourselves for once, we do have other bits and pieces on the farm we need to do. But for today and for now, I'm going to leave this here. So all that remains is for me to say
thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.